About 30 minutes ago, one of my favorite basketball players to watch of all time announced his retirement. Russell Westbrook, a guy who was voted to the top 75 team of all time, has called it quits. And right before I hopped on this podcast, I rewatched his retirement video that he posted, and it really kind of made me emotional from the aspect of, you remember not only what a fierce competitor this man was, and he never cheated the game of basketball, he always played to his maximum potential every night, gave everything he possibly could, was really an Iron Man, a guy who played a ton of basketball games. But this player, not only was he so great on the court, but he's done so many great things off the court. And by all accounts, a great husband, a great father, done great things for his community. He was drafted out of UCLA, so a lot of his charitable organizations have been based in Los Angeles. And Russell Westbrook is a guy who at times felt like he was misunderstood, heavily criticized by the media. And when a guy retires and, finishes his career, I think it's very important to celebrate the things that they accomplished and what they were able to do and not focus on all the negativity out there. There's plenty of other people that will do that. But what I love to do is just remember the great things of the great times that Russell Westbrook brought us, because when you got to watch this guy play basketball in the 2010s primarily, it was special to watch his explosiveness, his ability to compete on both ends of the court, rebounding, scoring, a full speed pull-up mid-range jump shot just always sticks in my mind for Russell Westbrook. His explosive dunks, his passion for the game, him yelling at fans, opposing players, talking trash. Russell Westbrook encapsulates a competitor at the highest level and a guy who used everything he possibly could, every skill set he had to be the best player that Russell Westbrook possibly could be. And he accomplished so many great things in his career. He played 18 years in the NBA, was the number 4 pick in the draft out of UCLA, obviously starts his career with the Oklahoma City Thunder with Kevin Durant, James Harden. They go to the NBA Finals. It's a very young team in 2012. Russell Westbrook is only in his 4th year in the NBA at this point, third or fourth year in the NBA, and he's the starting point guard on an NBA Finals team. And as his career develops, you're starting to see this guy grow into such an impressive basketball player alongside Kevin Durant. And part of the question mark was, can those two guys coexist? So when Kevin Durant leaves, Russell Westbrook gets the opportunity to really run this team by himself. He wins an MVP in 2017. He's a 9-time All-Star, 9-time All-NBA, 2-time scoring champ, 3-time assist leader in the NBA. He's also a player that named the top 75 team all time. Finished top 5 in MVP 4 separate times, which matters a lot to me because sometimes the voting can get a little weird with voter fatigue. They don't want to vote the same guy over and over. But being able to finish top 5 consistently like that is highly impressive for a player like Russell Westbrook. He was the All-Star MVP 2 times. And what does that tell you? And why do I think that's something that matters? Because he was a player that could not turn it off. No matter the scenario, no matter the circumstance, no matter his role, when Russell Westbrook went on a basketball court, he was going 100 miles per hour, 100% at all times. One of the fastest players to touch the court. And when you look around at some of the other explosive point guards, you think of Derrick Rose, you think of Ja Morant, you think of John Wall, guys who are really fast, really explosive. Sometimes their careers came up a little short because that explosiveness started to fade, or injuries in Derrick Rose's case, or John Wall just kind of he dealt with some injuries and never really could recover from that, and we'll see what Ja Morant does. But Russell Westbrook was a player that played 18 years, and even last year averaged 15 points a game, 7 assists, and 5 rebounds. Even in the final year, 18 of his career, he was still contributing for a basketball team and playing exciting basketball that was fun to watch. At his peak, in his prime, he was one of the most fun, entertaining basketball players to ever touch the court. Again, his ability to get up and down the court so fast, his athleticism was so impressive, but the fearlessness he played. Sometimes guys are athletic, sometimes guys are fast, Sometimes guys are explosive. But having that fearlessness to go down the court full speed and say, I'm going to dunk on your face. I'm going to slam this and get the crowd involved. Some of those crowd pops in Oklahoma City were just something I will remember forever, and some of his careers for some of his moments for the Oklahoma City Thunder. He took over a team once Kevin Durant left, and the team was his, and he led that team to the playoffs. Alongside Victor Oladipo, alongside Paul George, Steven Adams, Serge Ibaka. You think of some of the other players that Russell Westbrook has played alongside, and when I think back on watching basketball, I will always very, very fondly remember watching Russell Westbrook play as one of my favorite players to ever touch the basketball court. He's obviously going to finish as a triple-double leader of all time. I think he's at 209 or 208 triple-doubles all time for his career. Jokic will probably catch him here in the next couple years. But 4 years in his career, he averaged a triple-double. Something that hadn't been done since Oscar Robertson. Russell Westbrook was able to achieve 4 separate times. And again, it's because of that motor. Getting rebounds, getting assists, scoring the basketball, being relentless on a night-to-night basis. It was really special. And he never was able to win a championship. He moved around at the end of his career there. He had some seasons for the Clippers, the Nuggets, the Kings last year, the Rockets. So Russell Westbrook, played on a couple different teams, the Lakers, Wizards. So he moved at the end of his career. But what an awesome basketball player and an incredible career. Truly something that he can retire and be proud of. His family can be proud of. And he can feel like, hey, I accomplished great things in the NBA. We all would have loved to see Westbrook be able to hold up, an NBA championship trophy, a Larry O'Brien at some point in his career. But without that, one of the greatest careers as far as accomplishments of all time. I hope Russell Westbrook enjoys his retirement. Would love to see him, contribute to basketball in some way. It's always nice when these guys retire to either hear them on TV or hear them coach or, help the younger generation because of all the knowledge and all the experience and all those different things that Russell Westbrook was able to, rack up throughout his career. We will see what his plans are. I'm sure he will continue to do things for the community. I'm sure he'll continue to be a family man. And I'm sure he'll find some way to compete because that is the man Russell Westbrook is. And whatever he decides to do, he will give 100%. And I can almost guarantee that. That's all we got for you. If you love the NBA, make sure you take a second to subscribe to the channel. Appreciate y'all watching. Cyborg out.